Hello students, I'm your English teacher, Mrs. R. Shanti of KV Ashoknagar. Today we are going to read another poem from class 10, Reader, First Flight. The title of the poem is A Tiger in the Zoo, written by Leslie Norris. Before we know more about the poem, dear children, I would like to ask you two questions. How would you feel if you are enclosed in a cell? What would be your temperament? This poem contrasts in the zoo with the tiger in its natural habitat. The poem moves from the zoo to the jungle and back again to the zoo. Leslie Norris was a famous Welsh poet and a story writer. He was born in 1921 in Wales. Leslie Norris had decided even at an early age that he would become a poet. He was very much interested in the poems of Dylan Thomas and Vernon Watkins. His first poem was published in 1938, but his first poetry book came out in 1943. In July 1942, Norris married Catherine, better known as Kitty. They moved to England and trained themselves to be teachers. He shot to fame with his first publication, Finding Gold. His works won various awards, including the Cholmondeley Poetry Prize and Catherine Mansfield Memorial Award. Leslie died in 2006. Now let us proceed to the stanza-wise explanation. He stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps of his cage, on pads of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. Here, the poet says that the tiger is confined in the zoo and it under his bright-colored skin, which is referred here as vivid stripe. Here, he refers to the tiger, and the vivid stripes are the brightly colored coat of the tiger. He further says that the tiger can take only a few steps because the cage is small and it is not easy to move in it. One cannot hear his footsteps because he has very soft feet, which is compared to a velvet. Like velvet, because of which there is no sound of the tiger's footsteps. The tiger tries to control his anger by quietly walking in the limited area of his cage. He is angry, but he is not free. Here you must know this word, quiet rage. Opposite emotions are projected, quiet and rage. And there is a metaphor here. In the second line, you can see on pads of velvet quiet. Here, pads are the bottom part of the paw, which is very soft is compared to a velvet. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plump deer pass. Now here the poet says that if the tiger was free, that is why the word says he should be. He would have hid himself behind the long grass near the water bodies so that he could easily catch a fat deer in order to have it as its food. Basically, the poet wants to say that the actual life of a tiger is to live in a jungle or a forest where he could catch his prey and eat it. But now the tiger is in the cage and he cannot do so. The word lurking means to be hidden as to wait for your prey. Here, he hides for a long time and then it pounces on its prey. That is what is meant here. He should be lurking in shadow. Shadow, not in an open area, very stealthily. Through the long grass, he should be hiding and waits for the deer to come, which usually come which usually comes to drink water there, and then it has its kill. We proceed to the third stanza. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. The poet proceeds to say that if the tiger would have been free, you can see the usage, he should be. This is what indicates that if he had been free, or if he had been living in his original habitat, which should have been a jungle or a forest, that is making sounds, which the sounds made by animals are called snarl. He would have been snarling around the houses located at the outskirts of the forest. In case he did not get anything to eat, he would have proceeded to the edge of the forest where the villagers would have constructed houses. There he would be terrorizing people with his sharp tooth and claws. This would create fear among the people living in the villages. But he is locked in a concrete cell, his strength behind bars, stalking the length of his ignoring visitors. Now, the poet comes to the reality of the tiger, that it is inside a cage. And what kind of a cage? It is a concrete cell. He says that the tiger is confined in a strong cell which is made out of strong building material. He further says that his ferociousness is also behind the bars, his strength behind the bars. You know, it is so mighty and ferocious, but all his strength is being hid behind the bars. He is not able to execute his strength in the forest or the jungle, which is his natural habitat. He just talks his natural habitat. He just talks in the cage. He just moves inside the cage. He never tries to terrorize the visitors because his power is restricted by the cage. Therefore, he never tries to frighten the visitors as he cannot attack them. Stanza, he hears the last voice at night. He, here refers to the tiger, hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. The poet says that in the night, the tiger hears the sounds of the patrolling cars. Since morning, he had been listening to the noise of the visitors in the zoo. And finally, when it is night time, he hears the voice of the patrolling cars. So in the night, the tiger hears the sound of these cars. He then stares at the shining stars with his shining eyes. At the most, he is only able to gape at the shining stars with his bright eyes. The poet wants to say that the tiger, and as he is confined in the cage, so he cannot do anything and he is helpless. Therefore, he stares at the stars in the night and tries to divert his thoughts towards them. Now, some facts regarding the eyes of the tiger. It is situated, the eyes of the tiger are situated on the front of its head and not to the sides. Further, tigers hunt mainly during the evening and the night times when the vision of the prey is compromised. For this reason, their nighttime vision is excellent, about 6 times better than that of humans. Now, let us see the theme of the poem. The tiger is a proud, mighty creature. It's a shame that a powerful, agile, and untamable animal should have been caged in a zoo. In this natural and wide habitat, he doesn't need the help of any kind to hunt its own food. His hunting of deer at the waterhole may seem rather cruel. He hunts not for pleasure, but for food. His presence is necessary to maintain the balance of the food chain. Sometimes the tiger may stray into human habitation. He only displays his strength and ferociousness, but it doesn't harm anyone till he is provoked. Even in the cage, he ignores all those who come to the zoo to see him as entertainment. Like human beings, the tiger too loves and values his freedom. He shows his anger, hatred, and even defiance by walking about in rage in his cage. Human progress shouldn't be at the cost of destroying the natural habitats of untamable and proud animals like the tiger. What is the value that is expressed in the poem? The poem conveys the message that the real home of wild animals is their natural. Let us proceed to the poetic devices that are used in the poem. We begin with the first rhyme scheme. The rhyme scheme of the poem is ABCB. The tone of the poem is sympathetic towards the plight of caged animals. Regarding the poetic devices, the first one is the personification. In the poem, the poet refers the tiger by the word he, which is used for humans. We then find an alliteration. We find words alliterated. It is the occurrence or sound at the beginning of adjacent or closely connected words. And from this poem, we see that S and S should be lurking in shadow, where plump deer parse. P and P are alliterated. We also have repetition. We have this quiet and brilliant repeated twice in the stanzas. We proceed on to the metaphor. Metaphor is also a comparison without the use of is or as or like. Pads of velvet quiet. The tiger soles have been compared to velvet. And then we have plenty of imagery also. Poet tries to create an image about the tiger. He stalks in his vivid stripes. Immediately we are able to imagine a tiger which has got yellow and black stripe on it. And we have the oxymoron, use of adjectives opposite in meaning. So we have here quiet, rage. Further, some extract-based questions have been compiled here. You may refer to it. And then we go in for a value-based question. We have two questions which I have compiled here. Love for freedom is a natural instinct of every human being. Comment. Freedom is such an essential virtue that is valued not only by human beings but also by animals alike. Justify the statement with reference to Leslie Norris' poem, A Tiger in the Zoo. As already told, you can always start a value-based question, wait the presentation of the answer. So you could start, life without liberty is like a body without spirit. And finally, you may also refer to the Diksha app for the NCERT exercises and many more questions for your revision. Thank you, children.